What? Recording in progress. All right, you guys, happy Tuesday, happy payday Tuesday. I am super freaking excited for this Zoom because we have the amaze balls, Lindsey Coggin. Again, I was just telling you guys, like, she is Lavelle's newest 600K. And the one thing that I truly admire the most about Lindsey is last month when she was going for this. I mean, we all know last month was just crazy balls, right? I was messaging her. I'm like, girl, what's your tracker? You're going to hit it. You're going to hit it. You're going to hit it. And she was like, I may hit it. I may not. But you know what? I'm focusing on my girls because we're popping 12Ks, 4Ks, 200Ks, all the Ks. I'm like, man, I freaking love that. Like, y'all, when you go 600K in this company, you automatically get a $20,000 bonus. And you get that every time you maintain 600K. And she wasn't even like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be getting this, that much. She was like, no, my focus is on my team. And I love that. I truly love that. So, Miss Lindsey, if you want to, again, thank you so freaking much for hopping on, even when you're sick. You still
Oh,
look beautiful.
always. Always. Thank you. Always. I love being here. I love chatting with y'all. So thank you for asking me.
I was like, when you hit that, I'm like, Amber's like, okay, who are we going to interview this month? I'm like, I'm taking this day. I'm getting Lindsey.
Well, I'm very happy to be here and chat with y'all. Yeah, last month was, I think we can all kind of agree. Like if you had probably one of your best months in this business, can you go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat? Like if you've had one of your best months, whether it be volume, whether it just be like you got out of your own damn way, whether it be money wise, whether it be like mindset, whatever it is, like if you personally had your best month last month, like drop a 1. Because here's the thing, you can carry that momentum on into this month, and we're 21 days in, but y'all, we have 10 more days, including today, like in this month. And I don't know about y'all, but every 14 days is a new 14 days. And with that 10 days, that's like a VIP period. That's enrolling more promoters and more customers, especially with this new promo that dropped yesterday. I know personally, my team, we're playing bingo with it. And we're having fun. And if you're not utilizing these promos, like, yes, it's fun to be on leaderboards and X, Y, and Z. But y'all, if you're not utilizing these promos to have fun within your business again and with your team, I don't care if you are your team, right? If it's me, myself, and I running towards something, it's me, myself, and I running towards something, and I'm having fun with it. And something that you mentioned, Steph, at the beginning of this was, yeah, you were messaging me, which I love you. I just have to say, you guys are so beyond blessed to have Steph as a leader and in your life. She is probably one of my biggest cheerleaders in this company, and I am just so beyond thankful for you. So thank you for that. She sent me, which Paxton stole, so he loves it. So thank you for this cup, yeah, a 600K cup, and I cried. And I literally sent her a voice memo crying because I was like, the amount of love and how much she has cheered me on over the last 6 years is something that if you're like me, you're not used to, right? I came into this business and I went running. And so it was expected of me to run because that's how I came in, and I've always ran, I've always showed up. So me showing up isn't new. So I don't get celebrated for showing up. Okay. Don't forget to celebrate yourself for showing up, because it reminded me I needed to celebrate myself for showing up. So when she messaged me and she was like, you're getting that bonus, I was like, yeah, but you know how many people on my team are getting raises, and you know that bonus is amazing. And y'all, I am not new to earning bonuses. If you don't know my story, in the last 6 years, I've earned well over $1 million in bonuses from this company, on top of earning commission wise, right? And I have a link. This is non-compliant, so I apologize. I have an income disclosure link if this leaks out. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not new to earning bonuses. And let me tell you, I would give up every single bonus I've ever earned to earn the weekly income and the residual that I've created with this company, because you can create so much more than even a bonus will pay you out. So yes, are we in rank advancement bonus season right now? No, right? I call it season, but if you've been in this company for any length of time, it's just how we are. And it's just waiting for the next tracker to load at this point, right? Because our company is bomb.com. So what you do right now is going to fill that tracker when it loads, right? When it pops up and they announce a new bonus, you're already going to be giving yourself weekly raises. So when you go to earn that bonus, it's on top of it, not your entire monthly amount. And that's how I kind of go about it with my team. Is I'm like, great, you want to earn this bonus of 4K is right. That was that $500. But how would you like to create that $500 in your month with your weekly pay in general? So then when it does launch and you are earning a bonus, you just turn that 500 into 1,000 because you are creating that. So just a little love on that aspect. But I know that you had some questions and some things that you wanted me to chat about, Steph. So what is up?
I want you to chat about every freaking thing. Like, first off, I know I hear a lot. Well, like,
Rob's in the background dying. When you said that, he goes, he's behind this wall.
tell us all the things. Like, first off, I want to know, as on a leader's aspect for you, like coming into May now, like I'm already getting some people like, it's kind of slower, we're in mega comparison from now until last month. What are some things that you do with your teams, and tell your teams, like you just said, dude, every 14 days is a brand new 14 days. Like, there's still how many days left of this month? Like, we keep rolling. What are things that you tell your team and do with them?
So basically, I cannot say it any better than you just said it. It's every 14 days is a new 14 days, right? So if you are telling yourself that it's slow right now, that's the mindset and the mentality that you're in, and that's kind of what you're attracting. I'm not like a huge like your vibe, like I get your vibe attracts your tribe, but I'm like, okay, if you want to attract a tribe, do the work to attract a tribe, right? It's more than just a vibe to me, but you can change how you view your business if you're comparing. Now, I want to be extremely blunt with y'all. Last month, the company launched multiple 50% increase in QV. Okay. And if you have been a part of this company for any length of time, whenever they drop any sort of QV increase, I always tell my leadership and I tell my team, thank you and be so appreciative for it, but don't get used to it. And the reason I say that, and I mean that with a lot of love, is if you go 200K during a double QV month, you really went 100K. And if you sit here and you tell yourself, I went 200K in a double QV month, but you only did the work for 100K, you're going to excuse my language. I know Steph is on here, so I can say this. You're going to mental fuck yourself and convince yourself that a 200K is 100K of work. So I want you to look at what you did last month and say, okay, you know what? I killed it during that promo. Right? How many of y'all ran with that 50% increase in QV like wildfire? Y'all, my team brought in $265,000 in 1 week, and we have never done that ever. Okay. I don't have a large team, but I do have a powerful team. So when they're spiced up and when we are doing things like this and staying close to the fire, it's much easier to get a powerful team than it is to worry about how many people you have on a team getting there. I would rather, there are 45 of us on here right now. Okay. Think about what all 45 of us could do together. We could do a lot more than 105 people that are just half-assing it. Why? Because you want this, you want to do it, you show up for it. So regardless if you're comparing yourself to where you were last month to where you are today, are you doing the work to create the volume that you created last month? Not a promo, but the work, right? A promo is fine and it's fun and I love it. And I might have asked corporate if they could just, throw one out there again. And so if I go missing, it's because I've overstepped my boundaries too many times and it's fine. But at the end of the day, if you want a 50% increase in volume, go out there and enroll 50% more. And I know you're probably like, yeah, better, easier said than done. Y'all, personally, this is my lowest PPA month right now. Y'all, if you know me, I am not, I will call myself out. I will tell you when I fall on my face. I will tell you, like, I am not afraid to tell people when I am sucking. And right now I am sucking. And you would think it was the opposite, right? Because I just came off of a high month. Okay. But here's the thing, that high month I didn't bleed it into this month like I should have. And I should have hit the ground running on the 1st with the same momentum and fire that I had on the 30th. But instead, I had the mentality, and I'm calling myself out, and maybe I'm calling you out as well. I had the mentality that I was waiting for corporate to drop another promo. Guess what? I'm still waiting, right? You can either wait or you can do the work. And I quickly called myself out 5 days. It took me 5 days, 5 days into the month, and be like, what the fuck are you doing? You started this 6 years ago when when free shipping on a $300 order was our largest promo that they ever gave us. Who remembers that, those days where we were like, okay, that's a great promo, we're running with it. It is a great promo. And if you're somebody that only shows up when the company is going to give you something for free, are you really here to build a business? And so I had to have a real like come to Jesus moment with myself, but also with my leaders, and have a roundtable and say, listen, what worked for us last month outside of the company giving us free volume? What worked for us? And we rallied around it. And I created some new systems. I launched on Monday. So yesterday, I know what day it is. Excuse me. I launched yesterday a 45-day content push, which I challenged my entire team, and I put everybody in one chat that wanted to do it for accountability. It literally is just 45 days of committing to posting content. It is 2 reels a day on Instagram, 1 thrive, 1 non-thrive. It is 2 posts a day on Facebook, 1 thrive, 1 non-thrive. You do that, you throw a fire emoji in the chat, and that's your accountability. The reason is because we got so used to promos and all these different things that we forgot to just actually do the work that makes it not need a promo. And y'all, I'm preaching to myself as much as I'm saying it to y'all, because sometimes we need that reminder that our company is bomb, right? Our products are incredible. How many of y'all joined without a promo? Nobody offered me free credits. Nobody offered me 50% increase. Nobody, right? But I came in and I ran and I built, right? Amber, Steph, they came in, they ran and they built when our company's biggest promo was free shipping on $300. So if you're sitting here waiting and telling yourself like, oh, this isn't last month, you're right. It's not. It's a new month, and you're going to go make it even better. Stop looking at what last month was and start seeing how you can pivot and utilize those techniques for this month. If you are somebody where you're like, you know what, I really just need a promo. Okay, well, guess what? Go create one. Go create one. You have product credits, right? The company right now with all free accounts gets $25. You can stack with that and do leveraging. You can offer another $25 and give someone $50 off. But remember, when you offer promos and how you bring people into this business, whether it be a customer or promoter, is how they're going to value the products. So if you give something away for free, or you tell somebody that, oh, our 3 steps is only worth $100, not $160, why are they going to spend $160 next month for it? You teach people how to shop with you, and you set your boundaries for your business. So I love a promo as good as the next person. Trust me, I love them. I asked corporate, they laughed. It was fine. It was cute. They thought I was joking, or at least they were just being kind to me. I was not joking, but it's fine. And I quickly was like, you know what? Snap out of it. Because I can be waiting for another year. And guess what? I'm not going to build anything waiting. I am going to build something by doing the work. So that's kind of that round table moment I had with my leaders and with all of y'all just now. So thanks for coming to my tea time. But what I just had with all of you guys, and it was an eye-opening moment that it doesn't have to be last month in order for you to do great things today. It doesn't have to be where your business was. This is sales. We're going to have ups. We're going to have downs. The people who continually have ups more often are the one who, when they're down, they figure out how to get back up. And that's the difference. You can either stay down, or you can kind of game plan with yourself and pivot to get yourself back up. But the choice is yours.
Why'd you stop talking? You're fire. Like, you're so true. And that's, people need to hear real. And I love that you're like, I'm going to call myself out. Like, I do with my teams too. Like, yes, we're going to have ups and downs, but if you're going to constantly sit there and be like, I can't, you're right. You're going to keep canting until you start saying, I can. What did I do that worked for me? So you said something, and before my team starts messaging me about, hey, we need to get our hands on that 45-day of content.
I'll send you my tracker. It's literally the stupidest thing I've ever created, but it works. Like, when I send you the tracker, you're going to be like, oh, it's literally little circles and we're coloring it in. Like, it's fine.
But the one thing that you guys are doing is overthinking it. Right? You're just go post, go make reels, go have fun. Doesn't have to be, right? Thrive, non-thrive, it's mixed?
Yeah. So what it is 2 to 3 posts a day. And before you're like, crap, I can't even post once a day. Posting once a day, if you're not, is a great place to start. But my mentality is like my team, we're a completely social media based team. So we don't do like, I saw you and Amber doing that epic sample table. And I was like, damn, like that's awesome. But I'm a completely social media team and that's on me. I could totally set that up if I got out of my own way and did it. So I call myself out there too. But for my team, we get out there with our social media posts. So like my team posting twice a day, when I say that, that's not like pulling an arm out, right? If you are not used to social media, start once a day. But here's the thing, if you're going to post something, you're only going to post once. Please remember that if you're going to utilize social media for your business, you have to work it like a business. Hold on, baby, 1 second. You have to work it like a business. So for me, that means my content needs to be around Thrive, because at the end of the day, my storefront needs to be open. A couple years ago, I did a social media panel at Palooza, and I talked about having my storefront open. And to me, that having my storefront open is part of this 45-day content push, because at the end of that 45 days, you just spent 45 days talking about Thrive in different ways. You just spent 45 days showcasing what Thrive does for you on a product, an emotional, a physical, an opportunity, a whatever level, that at the end of the day, on day 46, you're going to be in a routine that makes it so that way on day 46, it's going to be weird not to talk about Thrive. It's going to be weird not to have a post up there because you created a habit and a routine around it. So at the end of the day, I always ask myself, I'm like, okay, my PPA is low right now for me. It is low for me. And I look at it and I'm like, what am I not doing? And I go and I do a social media audit on myself. And I'm going to talk to you guys about a social media audit because I always get asked about this, but it's literally, I go and I do a social media audit on myself. So I go and I look at my page, I look at my highlights on my Instagram, and I'm like, okay, are they updated? Do I have a sample update one? Do I have one talking about the 3 steps? Y'all, my face today is not the same shape or chin number as it was my face last year. So if my face in my highlights have 5 chins instead of 2.5, I know I need to update it. Okay. So for me, I call myself out by looking at what my storefront looks like. I go and I look at my pinned post on Instagram and I say, okay, what are those? What do they look like? Do I have an opportunity? Do I have a product? And do I have a me one? Do I have something on there for people to click and either ask me about the opportunity, ask me about the products, or relate to me on a me level? And then my posts, I look at my reels. Was my last reel today or was it 3 weeks ago? Right? I go and I look at my post. Was my last post today or yesterday, or was it 3 weeks ago? If you aren't looking at those things, and if you're looking at them, and ask yourself, would you join me or no? Would you have something to ask you a question on, or are you just basically copying and pasting the company website? You have to remember that people join people. And so if you're looking at your page and you're like, this just screams a website, it's time to switch it up. Look at your stories now as part of that audit. Go watch your stories. Is your only story of the products a picture of your capsules? And that's it? And then you don't have anything? Y'all, it is noon Eastern right now. So that means that stories are up for 24 hours. So your stories from yesterday at noon Eastern would still be up there. That's a 24-hour mark. Social media is probably one of the only 24-hour businesses besides like ERs, right? Like that is always open since COVID. That is always open. So for me, I want to make sure that if somebody is on their phone doing that 2 a.m. scroll, they see my face and they have something to message me about. Am I answering them back at 2 a.m.? Hell no. I answer them back like a normal, respectable human at like 7:37 in the morning after my capsules kick in. Okay. So I'm not, it's one of those ways for you to have a business open, but also set those boundaries to know that you can message those people back when you're in your business hours. You don't have to be glued to your phone like this in order for it to work for you. So that's probably one of my biggest things with that is running an audit on yourself to make sure that it's open. I made my entire team do that before we started the content push chat. And then once we started the content push chat, it was like for the next 45 days, if you come to me and you say, right, this isn't working on day 46, if I go look at your page and you haven't posted in 3 weeks, I know it's not that this wasn't working, it's that you weren't working. And that's one of the biggest things that I always have to ask myself, because I get comfortable too, right? I get comfortable as a leader and I'm like, I have an incredible team that I know is going to show up. Now I have to do my part and show up with them. That's why when Steph was like, are you sure you want to do this? Abso-freaking-lutely. I will show up, rain or shine. I will show up, because at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, would you join you? And I want to make sure that I'm still a leader that I would want to join. And two, would I follow myself? And that's probably one of the two biggest things when it comes to this business is, would I join myself and would I follow myself? And if you can't tell yourself as a leader or as somebody in this company, a promoter, right? Because at the end of the day, we're all leaders, we're all brand promoters. If you can't tell yourself that you enroll a brand new promoter and they should mimic everything that you do for your business and they would find success, it's time to pivot and switch up what you're doing so that way you are duplicatable for your own team. So that's kind of those little things around that content.
I love that you just talked about all that social media aspect. And the reason is we have this lately, last month and now this month also, we've had a lot of people join our team who have never done network marketing or starting out on social media with maybe 200, 300 friends. They're doing reels, they're posting, and they're getting frustrated already because they're not getting likes, they're not getting comments, it's just not getting pushed out. For you, I know for me, when I joined network marketing, it took me years to stay consistent, to build up my following, to build up, people that trusted me. Do you agree that did it take you years, or did you just get lucky and get all of your stuff overnight?
I wish I got lucky. I actually hit 200K with less than 300 followers on Instagram. And Instagram and Facebook were like my largest platforms. And
What'd
so,
you do?
yeah, so it was the consistency. Well, you might look at my page, you're like, oh, sure, it's easy for her. She has 20K followers. Okay, well, like 17.3K of those are thrivers. Okay, because the minute I started doing anything well and getting like acknowledged with the company stuff, my thrivers went every palooza. I gained like 5,000 followers and they're thrivers. So I go to look to do IPAs and I'm like, oh, well, you're a thriver. So there goes that one. Oh, you're a thriver also. There goes that one, right? So it's really easy to look at leaders in this company and be like, they have so many followers, but a lot of our followers, at least myself, is thrivers, right? And so for me, it's really weeding through you guys. As much as I love you guys, thank you, but it's really weeding through all of you guys to find the non-thrivers. That is a whole nother part-time job. So it was easier for me when I had less than 300 because I knew they were actually like authentic leads for me. I view my followers as leads because for me, those are people that I can go do 3-2-1s on interactions. I can go and just say like, hey, like, thanks so much for following me. I can't wait to connect, right? I can start those lines of communication a lot, sorry, a lot easier. And so for me now, I grew that amount and I grow today my network through video content. Social media is always changing. When I started 6 years ago and had less than 300 followers, I gained the trust, and the way that I got to 200K with that less than 300 is because I was consistent and I built the trust with everybody, right? They trusted me and they knew me. They knew my journey. They knew who I was. They knew why I was using the products. They knew what the opportunity meant to me. They followed along my journey and I'm a real person, right? And that was part of that huge thing. And I've carried that on through all of the different changes that social media, y'all, I started using social media before they even had stories, right? I remember I boycotted stories and I was like, I'm not using these. Thank you so much. But no, I'm going to need a different tool. And then Facebook and Instagram were like, sucks to suck, and continued on with video content. So I had to get used to video content, right? Well, I utilize my stories. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I utilize those heavy to sell. And then I utilize my content, my reels to grow my network, and my posts to keep my community tight. So if you just listen to what I said, those are 3 different kinds of content, all working 3 different ways for me. Okay. My stories is how I sell. I'm bold in there. I talk about sales. I talk about why they need Thrive. I showcase why they need Thrive. I talk about the opportunity. I talk about why they need the opportunity. I talk about the VIPs. video content, AKA reels or Facebook lives, I utilize those for my reach. And what I mean by that is I utilize those for keywords, like for the opportunity, talking about the VIP bonus, right? For products, talking about gut health, talking about collagen, talking about all the different aspects that our vitamins do for you on a natural level. Keywords, okay? My posts I utilize to make sure that those who have been following me and are following me continue to see my community that I'm creating and make sure that they still know Linz, right? Make sure that they still see me, make sure they still see pictures of the boys and can follow along with my life and stuff like that. So you can use my strategy all you want. Stories are for selling. My videos are for building and growing my network, and my posts are for keeping my community tight. Okay, that's how I utilize my social media. But here's the thing: each one of those is a puzzle piece for me. If I stop using one, the other two aren't as strong, because yes, I can pull people in, but if they're going to go to my stories and there's nothing there, right? Say you have a reel that goes viral. Cool, you're going to get all these people to your page, but what are you doing once all these people come to your page? That's like a lead funnel, right? They're funneling in and then they're sitting there because there's nothing for them to ask you questions about. There's nothing for them to get to know you. There's nothing for them to connect with you. So when they come into my page from my reels or my video content, they're instantly watching my stories. Anytime one of my reels takes off, my story views triple. Why? Because they're coming to your page, they're looking at your stories. I want to make sure that I have something there that's eye-catching for them. So make sure that you're building your whole puzzle and you're not just like picking and choosing on which days, because some people who aren't in network marketing, believe it or not, there are people in this world who only go on social media on like Wednesdays. And it's for like 5 minutes. Well, if they're only going on their social media for 5 minutes on a Wednesday, I want to make sure during that 5 minutes on that Wednesday, they're seeing my stuff. Right? Well, that's different for every single person. So for me, I show up every single day for that 5 minutes with one person, right? And you never know when that day is going to be or when that 5 minutes is going to be. But I can guarantee you that if you build a routine and habits around your business, whatever that may look like, and you're consistent with it, over time, you're going to grow. And I would rather grow organically than I don't pay for ads. I don't pay for followers. I don't pay for any of that stuff, because to me, it's like, those aren't real people. And a following count or likes or comments, stuff like that, that don't equate to a sale or equate to them going into my inbox messaging me, that's monopoly money. That does nothing for me. So I don't care if I have 1 million views on a reel, like that, I'll look at that. And if I don't have anybody in my inbox, I'm like, damn, what a missed opportunity. And I look at that because cool, I have 1 million views on a reel. If I didn't have a single enrollment from it, that reel did nothing for me. But that's how I view my social media, because I don't care if I have 1 million followers on Instagram or if I have one follower, if that one follower is going to be a thriver with me.
I love that, because everybody, we are in such a world where it's like my views, my views, my views. Great. But what are we doing with those views for you to make money? What are we doing with those views for you to GOPT, get people on Thrive? So it's utilizing all of the things that you just said. I want you guys to like really, are you guys really listening to Lindsey? Like, are you really listening to her mentality? Like, I could listen to her all day long. I'm like, I'm going to stalk you, you know, like I just want to sit by you and you just keep telling me all these things, because you're so right. Like if we all had that same mentality that you do, imagine where we would all be, instead of waking up in the morning like, oh, I can't wake up and be like, dude, how many free samples am I going to get out? Not just necessarily free. I shouldn't have said that. Scratch it. How many free accounts am I going to get? Speaking of free accounts, you said you're doing a bingo. You're making this fun with your team. Do you care sharing with some of those things that
I can send you the bingo card.
I fucking love you.
I'll just send you the bingo card. It's much easier than me naming out all the squares. But it's like literally like things like get 2 free accounts, you mark off a square, right? Enroll a customer $50 or more, you get a square. Send an opportunity video to a potential, you get a square. Start a 3-way chat, you mark off a square. And then I have like little things like they finish a row, I send them 1 sample mail out to the cloud office, right? They finish 2 rows, I send them $10 in free product credits. They black out the entire thing, I send them a tumbler from Amazon, the ones that everybody is like in my inbox about. what shaker cup is that? It's literally a simple modern shaker cup from Amazon. They're like $19. And my team goes wild for that. So I love utilizing that. So it's literally just little stuff like that. But y'all, for me, like I'm doing the bingo card also, like for my own personal like self. And I'm obviously not sending myself like $10 in credits, or corporate's not sending me $10 in credits for finishing 2 rows. Okay. So for me, it's really just building my business and staying accountable. Over the summer months, it's really hard to stay accountable for a lot of people. It's really, really easy to fall off, right? The summer months, the hot months, kids are out of school, the sun is shining, and you're like, I don't want it to work. Well, yeah, me either. But I like my bills paid. So here we are. And at the end of the day, I want to create more. And Steph, something that you said was about social media and likes and stuff, y'all. When I started this, I was 24 years old. Okay. I'll be 31 next week. And well, in a week and a half. But I started this as a 24-year-old that literally just wanted Louis Vuittons. Like I was so materialistic. I blew all the money I made in my first 2 years, and I was not building for a sustainable life or sustainable future. I was single. I was living in a 1-bedroom apartment with my Great Dane Xander, and I was just living my best little 24-year-old life. Okay. Today I'm 30 years old. I have 2 children, a husband, a freaking zoo back here, and a mortgage, right? Like we got a lot of stuff going on here. And so I'm building generationally now. I want generational wealth. And so I'm building different. So whatever makes you happy and whatever makes you want to build this business, do that. If you're in your Louis Vuitton era, be in your Louis Vuitton era. Like, let me tell you, they look great sitting in my closet, because if you have children, they're just messy and I can't use them. But be in your Louis Vuitton era, because I was there and I started my foundation. Well, now I'm building my roots, and I'm building even deeper into those roots with this era, with my generational wealth era. Okay. You have to figure out where you are and stay in your own lane, and don't allow social media to deter you, right? Just like, not totally off topic, but just a second, like how many people of y'all have seen people, or maybe you guys are a sourdough starter all over the place, all over social media? People are making bread. Okay. I almost fell into doing sourdough starter. Like and y'all, I kill snake plants. I was like, there's no way I can feed sourdough starter. But here I was, because I was like, I need to do this. Like everybody's doing this. And then I realized I don't want to make sourdough. I just want to eat it. So I stopped doing that, because I caught myself. That's what social media does to you. It makes you think that you need to do something or run somewhere if you aren't rooted in what you're doing. So I caught myself and I was like, I have zero interest in feeding sourdough. It's hard enough to feed my 2 children because they don't stop eating. And now you want me to throw in some like glump of them something? I'm like, no, absolutely not. I cannot do that. So ask yourself, why are you doing this? And what era are you in? And stay there. Stop pivoting. Stop taking other people's goals, because social media will do that to you. It'll do it heavy.
I agree. I have squirrel brain right now. And one thing that you said is, if you're in your Louis Vuitton era, be in that Louis Vuitton era. For you, what you did last month, and you made a post. If you were to take your family on a family vacation, no budget anywhere in the world, where would it be? Now, I've never asked you this before, but I think I know the answer. Is that something that you're doing to kind of reward yourself for hitting that 600K and putting in all the work? You're like, I'm going to go create these memories with my family. I don't care the budget. Is that something that you're doing?
Yeah. So lately, because of this business, I've been able to we live like an hour and a half from Disney. And Rylan is in that like stage where he's like obsessed with Disney, and Paxton is starting to get there. Rylan is 4 and Paxton is 1. And something that my husband and we looked at each other, we said, we're like, you know what? We want to live out our own childhoods too. Like I had an amazing childhood. If you met my mom at Palooza, she is incredible. She raised me as a single mom, and I did not want or need for anything. That woman made it possible for the world. But I want to be able to be that and so much more for my kids. And I want to be able to make memories with them, because here's the thing. A Louis Vuitton is cool. Great. Love it. But what memory is that? Right? I want something that my kids can remember. And granted, Paxton's only 1, so he probably won't remember. The only thing that kid remembers is the word snack. But Rylan, he'll remember. And we've gone on 2 Disney cruises in the last year alone. And Rylan every day wakes up and he's like, "Can we go on another Disney cruise?" And I love the fact that I can say, "Yeah, let's start planning." So we're actually planning a Disney cruise to Alaska. We're going to do an Alaskan Disney cruise. And then we're also, once Hawaii is a little bit more rebuilt from like the wildfires and stuff, we're actually going to go and do the Disney resort in Hawaii. Also, we're going to go stay in Hawaii probably for a month. We're going to do a week at the Disney resort and then rent a house for 3 weeks and take the boys there for a month and just explore and make memories.
So I know I'm a little older than you. I can totally pass as your mom if you need to bring somebody with you.
Yes, everybody welcome to come and hang out with us. But yeah, I'm all about I'm in my mom era right now, and I'm very proud of that because I won't always be here, and I wasn't always here, right?
Mhm.
When I started this, like I said, I was single in a 1 bedroom apartment, and now I'm in the thick of my mom era, but I'm also, it's not only their childhood, but it's my motherhood. And I want to make it my best memories as much as their best memories. And so I want something when I'm 70 something years old where I can look back and I have memories also, and that it wasn't just I worked. Because what we do for a living is amazing. We can take our phones anywhere. We can go on team Zooms from our phones. We can do so many things to continue to grow this business that for me, I want to grow my business and show my children that you can have fun, you can live life and have fun and work really damn hard at the same time. So that's just kind of where I was with that.
Guys, drop a hells yeah in the comments if that is something you want to do. And the reason why I brought that up, because I think it's very important that we all have goals, right? We have goals of hitting that VIP, goals of hitting 4K, 12K, hitting that auto elite bonus. And but when you did that post that one day, that's something I wanted to bring up because I'm like, man, how many of us, when we hit a goal, do we take a little bit of that and go award ourselves? Even if it's something simple, taking your family to a movie, going roller skating, going to that Dan and Buster's place, going to get ice cream, creating memories. And I think that's so important. When you guys do that, take a little bit of that and go make memories, go do things, celebrate the wins, because it just gets you more excited for the next win.
And you
Though
don't have to go to and let me also just say, you don't have to go to Alaska to make
we
memories.
want to.
This is not something that like before about like a year and a half ago would have even been possible. But here's the thing. We used to every single Tuesday, we would take our boys to the local ice cream shop and just get a scoop of ice cream just because it was payday. And y'all, it doesn't have to be something extravagant in order to make memories. It's literally just going and getting, like, we buy popsicles like no other at Publix. And when they're BOGO, we buy them even more and we stock the freezer. And it's taking one of those on a drive down to the park and eating a popsicle at the park. Like, it's just little things that you can do to celebrate, but celebrating yourself in all wins, whether it be that you got your 2 customers to Thrive for free, you got a paycheck at 1 p.m. Eastern today, or you have a new customer that messaged you, or whatever it may be. Like, those are wins that you need to celebrate, and they're stepping stones to the bigger one. You have to remember, like, you won't always be celebrated every single day for breathing, right? But you make it to like 99 and you're celebrated because you made it to 99, and you're like, well, I've been living for 99 years. Thank you for just now recognizing that, right? But it's all the things that you do up to that. Y'all, nobody knew my name until I was at 200K. I'd been in this company for 2 years and very few people knew who I was. And it wasn't because I wasn't doing the work. So you have to remember that you're not always going to be recognized or celebrated for doing what you're supposed to do to grow. It's like you're not celebrated every single day for breathing, right? And if you ask me right now, it's currently very hard to breathe. So I feel like we should be celebrated for breathing, but we're not. So if nobody else is going to celebrate you for breathing, you need to, because otherwise, where's the fun along the way? Create those stepping stones for yourself and celebrate every single stepping stone on the way to that bigger picture.
I love that. Love everything that you have said. Seriously, everything. If you're okay, I want to take the next couple of minutes, open this up for any questions that you guys don't have. And how many people are on here? There's 54. 54 of y'all better be asking at least one freaking question.
Hey, Steph, I have two things. One, did you want people to be able to unmute, or did you want them just to drop it in the chat?
Well, I think unmuting, right?
Okay, well, because I always set it to where people can't unmute so we don't get the random. So I have to change that. But I want to say two things. When Lindsey was talking about, like you were saying, people are always, oh, I didn't get enough views, I didn't get any likes, and this and that. Think about large companies that pay a bajillion dollars for billboards. They have no idea how many people are seeing their billboards on a daily basis. There's no report for that. Like they have no idea if it's 7 cars or 70,000 cars on a Tuesday, right? So, but they still pay for the billboard because the billboard is doing the work. So your social media is your billboard, even if you don't see the report you want to see or the views and the likes. I'm going to unmute people or allow people to unmute while I say this. And I want to add to that part of about getting to go wherever you want, living your childhood out, all the things. For me, it was like, oh, I can take my kids to Target with me because now I don't have to say no to everything. And then it was, I've wanted to go to Disney since I was 10 years old. I got to go to Disney in my 40s, and my kids, my boys were preteen and teen, and we did it as a family. And I'm like bawling on Main Street at the parade, and they're like, "Mom, are you crying?" And I'm like, "Yes, because I'm seeing this for the first time. You're seeing this for the first time. I'm seeing it through their eyes, and like those things, and it can be the littlest things." Okay, I'm gonna fix. Okay. Now people can unmute, and the two of you may have to unmute yourself again. Stephanie, you're muted.
Question.
Go ahead, Mama.
Imagine that. I have a question, like I always do. Hi, Lindsey. Love you. I met you one time. You do excellent. Okay, so my question is, I've been adding people, like Stephanie tells me, to my network. Fine. Now I got some new people watching my stories. Do you wait for like about 5 days to make sure they're watching everything, or how often would I go into their private message and to thank them for watching my story? What all would you say to them, and how long would you wait?
So, I don't wait. As soon as somebody follows me, I go to their page and I do a 3-2-1 on them. Well, also because if they're not a thriver, I want to follow, like, as much as I love other thrivers, if I followed all the thrivers that I love and cherish with my whole heart, I would never see non-thrivers, because there's so many of you guys that I just have met and had such connections with, and I would love to follow along with your stories. But I utilize my social media to work. So for me, I go in and see every single time I get a follow, I go into their account and I do a 3-2-1 on them. And I create that connection. From there, if the connection, like in the story, whatever reply that I do, if that dies off or there is nothing for me to do a story on, you could shoot a message and just say like, "Hey, thanks so much for the follow. Can't wait to connect some more." Like something super, super simple like that is easy, and it has nothing to do with Thrive. You're not selling them anything, but it also ignites that kind of the algorithm to create, so that way they're a part of your community, so they'll see your stuff more.
Lindsey, will you tell them what the 3-2-1 is? Because I don't know that everybody knows that.
Yeah, so it's a form of interactions. It's going to somebody's page and liking 3 of their posts, commenting on 2 of their posts, and interacting with 1 of their stories. And I know if you're like some of the people on my team, you're very literal. So if somebody can't do a full 3-2-1 on somebody, they're like, "I can't do this." Well, no. If you can do any amount of it, even if it's just 1-1-1 or 1, that's awesome. But the 3-2-1 just allows you to kind of ignite the algorithm and make them a part of your community, so they'll see your stuff as well.
Yes. Who else? Good question, Mama.
There's one in the comments. It says, I want to know how you get to the place of self-confidence and being bold on your social media. I've been a promoter for 6 months and I still feel like I don't know what I'm doing. So confidence is like a muscle. I don't think none of us know what we're doing. I'm still trying to figure it out. But so if any of you guys figure it out, share with the class. We're going to share notes. But confidence is a muscle. The more you work it out, the more it's going to be. I am not a like overly like confident person. Okay. But I just don't give a shit. So there's a difference. I still have my flaws. I'm extremely flawed. I am far from perfect. I have a lot of things about myself and my appearance that I am very self-conscious about and going on social media. My stories, I refuse to watch them back because I hate my own voice. Okay. Like I won't watch and listen to my voice. It literally gives me the cringe. And if I did, I would never go on. So you have to remember that the people who are showing up for their business, it's not that they're overly confident or anything like that. It's that they're just want to build. I want my business to be my business more than I care about if my next door neighbor thinks that I'm cringe or not. Like to me, I don't care. They're not paying my bills. They're not making my child's like dreams come true. They're not doing all the different things. And my kids aren't watching them. They're watching me and they're watching what I do. And so as long as I am proud of who I am and how I represent my family, that's at the end of the day, the only thing that matters to me on social media. So, but I hear that all the time. They're like, how are you so confident? And it's not confidence. It's just self-discipline and my goals and what I want to get done.
You know, it's crazy that you just said that you're not confident, which looking at your stories, your posts, you guys, you would never know. You would never know that she's not confident in anything or she thinks that her own voice is cringe, but she's just doing it. Literally just doing it. I mean, same. There's my stories this morning. I was in there with no bra. I don't even care. People want to see raw and real, and I'm not showing titties or anything. I'm just doing the things as I'm taking my products. Somebody just commented they don't, and people say it's a pyramid scheme. Lindsay, I don't know about you, but when I hear that, I don't even deal with people. Okay, next.
I don't argue with anybody. I'm not in the business of arguing or convincing anybody. They're clearly uneducated when it comes to our industry, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and educate somebody that is closed-minded. So to me, I just move on. I delete the comment. I don't interact. Like to me, my well-being and my viewpoint on things is more important than convincing somebody that they're wrong. I think in today's world on social media, a lot of people, like you'll see like fights in the comments, right? And people will be like, I'm here for the comments. Y'all, audacity is on sale and somebody's always going to have something to say. Be the person that just scrolls by it. Like just scroll on by it because that's what I do. And whenever somebody disagrees with me, great. We should disagree with each other. If we're all agreeing and if you agree with every single thing that comes out of my mouth, I'd be worried. Okay. Like my own leadership, we just not fight, but we disagree on how we build things all the time. And guess what? I do a training one way, they do a training the other way, and you take what works for you. We show how you can do things differently. Don't worry about who you disagree with or who disagrees with you. Just build how you want to build because at the end of the day, it's your business.
Love that. Love it.
Thanks.
I got a question for you. First, I have two questions actually. Congratulations on your 600K. Super, super amazing. My first question is a social media question. When you're posting reels, do you share the same reel to Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or do you not share them to all platforms?
So I used to have them linked. And then I realized that my views on Facebook were down. And the look of Facebook Reels, what's taking off is different than the look of what's taking off on Instagram Reels. So I'll utilize the same video, but I'll post it separately and I'll actually write my own, like what's going on top of the reel. I'll write that on Instagram and then I'll write it on Facebook, if that makes sense. So on Facebook right now, just a little tip of what's taking off is when the video is like covered in words. And I don't know why, because it's not aesthetically pleasing. And it honestly, every time I do it, I like get heebie-jeebies, but it's taking off right now. And I hate the look of it, but right now that's what's working. And next week it'll probably be different, but for right now, it is what it is. Where on Instagram, it's a cleaner look. So sometimes that eye-catching on Facebook isn't as eye-catching on Instagram. So I like to post, and also platforms like when you use their features, and yes, Meta is Meta, but there's still two different platforms. So they'll push you out two different ways.
Okay. Do you use the watermark remover to post them on the
No, I
different
create
platforms?
all of my videos just on my phone, like as a video. And then I will use like CapCut or Tezza, and I'll just create the video. And then from there, I take that video that's already created and I put it on each platform from there with the words on that platform.
Okay, perfect. My next question is can you tell me when you bring in a new promoter, like what are your first couple of steps bringing in a new promoter, and how do you teach your team to like duplicate what you bring them in and do?
So every team is different, and I know you guys have systems and tools and resources available to you that are incredible. You have incredible uplines and leaders that have paved the way and have taught me so many things. And so with that, I just take and created my own systems, right? I have a 14-day onboarding guide within my team page that is literally 14 days of like videos of me and like my leaders talking about basics for this business. We have like a welcome guide, we have a customer, like how to enroll customers, a customer like affiliate guide. We have like they go through 14 days of small short trainings, because if you if I'm a day one thriver and you throw like a manual at me and you're like, this is how you build a business, like no, really we just want them to enroll their first customer and then enroll their first promoter to get VIP 400 or another customer to thrive for free, right? So if you're throwing our entire business at them in those first 14 days, it's going to become overwhelming. So I kind of broke it down into like very, very basics. And like I said, you have leaders that are incredible and know the basics. They taught me the basics. I've learned so much from Amber, from Steph, from Chas. Like I've learned so much from so many of the OGs of Thrive that I just kind of took it and ran with how I utilize it and created small basics for it. So my first thing would be, if you were to start today as a day one thriver, what would you do over the next 14 days, or what would be the basics over the next 14 days for you to hit your VIPs? Write it down. And that's kind of how I created my 14-day guide. I just figured out how I would hit my VIPs, how I actually did hit my VIPs, and tweaked it to be the very, very basics of what our company offers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's that question. How do you get over, what do you tell people when they're like, oh, Thrive is too expensive?
I mean, I ask them what their budget is, honestly. To me, I don't think it's expensive, but if somebody comes to me and they're like my most popular promoter pack is the 400 or the 800, right? But my most popular customer pack is ultra 3-step ultra with balance and biotic. That's like around $300. And so to me, I'm like, okay, well, what's your budget? And if they come back, they're like, oh, $100. I'm like, well, especially with this promo right now, okay, well, we can customize you a pack and you can get $25 off to make it around $100. And I would customize them a pack. For me, I want people to try the products more than I'm worried about how much it is as like QV, because once they're a thriver, they're never going to want to not be a thriver. So I know that like one of my Stina, she went 200K last month. She couldn't afford the product. She could afford $50. So I sold her a box of capsules that were like $62 at the time. They were like $60, and I gave her $10 in credits, and that's how she started. The capsules changed her entire life, and now she's a 200K. So to me, you have to remember that objections are just things that you have to just ask more questions. That's how I view objections. I don't necessarily feed into it or saying, oh, I'm so sorry, like you're right. Like, no, I don't think that they're more expensive, because I spent $198 to start this business at the time when we had $100 pack. If you know, you know. So basically the $200 pack, and I've turned that into millions. So to me, it would have cost me millions if M would have been like, ooh, okay, well, talk to me when you have money. Like, no, we found a way to make it work, and I enrolled, and it was because she asked me questions. So if you're getting objections, ask questions, ask some more questions.
I have one quick question for you. You guys, let's take a couple more, and then I know I told you, hey, can we just borrow you for like 20 minutes? And here we are an hour. I lied. Okay, so you just mentioned your upline, M. Okay, so I've got people in sidelines that come to me all the time. I'm more than willing to help. What's your biggest tip My upline's not answering. My upline's nowhere to be found. My upline, like I know the answer because my next upline is Amber. I mean, she knows the mess. I mean, answer me because I'd find her. But what do you tell people when you're like, my uplines, my uplines, my uplines? What's your advice on that?
I mean, my upline didn't build my business. I don't have a placement. So I built everything I have, and my checks are what they are because I personally enrolled. And if we're being completely honest, Em and I have talked about this multiple times. There was 2 years of my business when I went 200K that Em and I didn't even speak. We weren't friends on Facebook. We weren't anything. Like, I completely separated myself and I went 200K. And I'm not saying separate yourself and run, because I'm an odd case. A lot of times when people separate themselves, it ends up dying off because you need the support. But at that time, I needed this business more than I could breathe. And I didn't have time to worry, because drama doesn't build a business. And to me, I put my blinders on, I got my own lane, and I ran. Your upline isn't going to build your business. I didn't go 600K because M placed a 40K leg underneath me. I went 600K because I had new personally enrolled 40Ks and above, right? That tracker is what it is. Your tracker is what it is. And it's mainly personally enrolled. You can have a completely placed business, and there's nothing wrong with placement, right? I place to my team. I'm a heavy placer. But here's the thing. Your check is going to significantly be different if you're a 40K place versus if you're a 40K personally enrolled. And I would take every obstacle and every hard time and whatever it was that was thrown at me to get to where I am today, to see the paychecks that I see in 4 minutes.
I love that. And I'm the same. I've never had a customer. I don't even know if I was ever giving credits, never received a promoter. It is so rewarding to say I built this business by being me, by enrolling. And you are so right. You are going to make the most money by those personally enrolled by enrolling versus placement. So freaking high five to that. Yes, sir. All right, couple more questions, like 1 or 2 questions, and then we'll
also to add to that, because you said that, like, y'all, our community is unmatched. Like Steph said when this started, like, her and I don't benefit off each other at all. Like, just ask the questions. The only time I've ever said no to people, like, to use you to anything, is if they're like, hey, can I get on a one-on-one Zoom with you? And I'm like, I wish I could get on a one-on-one Zoom with the whole company, but I don't have enough time to even breathe right now, let alone get on a one-on-one Zoom just randomly. So for me, that's the only time is I pour into my team personally with like stuff like that. I have to set a boundary that Maria taught me about. She was literally the one who put that boundary in place for me. She was like, absolutely not. You need boundaries. But resources, tools, like Steph's asked me for what, like 2 or 3 things on here. And I was like, sure, I'll just send it to you. Like, you just have to ask, what's the worst thing someone's going to say? No. Okay. Well, you're in no other position than you were when you started. I hear no all day long.
Yep. I love that. We told you we appreciate you.
Love you.
Absolutely appreciate you.
Of course. I appreciate you guys. You guys have taught me a lot. And I've been here for June will be 6.5 years. I started the end of December of 2017. And y'all, I didn't get here by myself. And that's the thing. You have to remember, like, the people who are ego driven, and I can speak from experience because my first 2 years, I had the biggest ego of anybody I know. It's why my business and my team crumbled, because I was ego driven. I was all about myself, and I was all about how I could benefit. And now I don't operate that way. The last 4.5 years, I've operated for everybody else except for myself. Like, have I benefited from it? Of course, because it grows. But the more people you help, the more people that you can inspire and ignite their fire, like, that's going to do so much more for your business than anything else.
Amen. Amen.
Can I say something about the upline stuff? Because I do love that you said, like, switching the ego and the change, making it, because we've always said it's all about helping other people. The more people you help, the better your life will be, just in general. But the upline thing, like, guys, if you do have a situation where you're like, well, am I upline this? Am I upline that? Just remember this. You wouldn't have been introduced to Thrive if it weren't for your upline. Like, whether y'all don't get along and you want to cut that off and you want to have that boundary, that is fine and dandy, and do what's going to be best for you and your business. But remember that if they hadn't shared Thrive with you, you wouldn't be here. Your business wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be feeling amazing, taking 3 steps every dang day. Like that, I just feel like that's super important to remember when we talk about if there's upline dramas and boundaries.
And just keep reaching up. Because eventually you're going to find Steph, you're going to find Amber. You're going to find people that y'all, I have people that message me that are like level 30 something for me. I'm like, cool, like, let's go. If you want to work, you want to work. I don't care what level you are. I don't care if you're part of my 8 and I'm making commissions or not. Like, at the end of the day, if you want to work, we take, and I'm going to speak for Steph and Amber here, but like, we take our roles in this company, in this industry serious. Like, this isn't just us saying, oh, let's build our volume. No, at the end of the day, we love what we do, and we take our position in not only this company, but in this industry, and how we can raise the standards of what leadership should be on a wider spread very serious. And I know, because I've had conversations with both of them, it's not just about like them. They wouldn't be here on a Tuesday if it was about them, right? They're going to get paid right now at 1 p.m. Eastern, but it's not about them. And one more thing about your upline, it's not your upline's responsibility to build your business, and it's not your downline's responsibility to build your business. It's your responsibility. And when I realized it wasn't my uplines and it wasn't my downlines, but it was mine, y'all, I did a road to 4K Zoom last night for my team. And part of my presentation was talking about how many 4Ks it took to get to 12, to 40, to 80, 200. But in there, I was like, okay, it takes 3 4Ks to get to 12K. But if you're one of your 4Ks, it's now only 2. Stop putting your entire business in somebody else's hands. Take the power back and just get to work.
Boom. Mic drop.
Great. I feel like just personally, I feel like so I was that person too that didn't really work with my upline. I just always reached up to Steph. And that's okay that I didn't let that really affect my business. I was great when she left. But also I feel like you need to, like, you guys walk in confidence, like you are confident on these products and you're like confident in your business. And too many people that I've seen that have been in for many years are just not even confident about what these 3 products do. So just building that confidence and what are these products doing for you is huge.
Amen. Abso-freaking-lutely. And even run with that, you know. All right, we are coming up on the hour, the payday. Everybody better be logging in, celebrating, getting to your stories. Talk about how this weekly paycheck has done for you, what it has done for you. Lindsey, seriously, woman, congratulations. And just thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being you.
Thank you for having me. I'm always honored to come on and chat with you guys and love on y'all. So happy payday. Now go build a business, because it ain't gonna build itself. All right. All right. Bye, guys.
Amen. Thanks, Amber, for recording. Bye, guys.